Tell me if you've heard this one before. The recruiter says, we don't know the range for this position. Have you ever heard that one? Right? Oh yeah, we're hiring for this role, but we don't know how much it pays, right? Have you heard that one before? That's pretty common for recruiters to say. It's such an insultingly simple tactic, right? And you lose a lot of integrity, a lot of credibility when you say this to people, right? Especially more experienced candidates. Everybody knows what that means. It means, of course we have a range, and I know what it is, but I'm not telling you. So you react accordingly. You go, okay, well, that's understandable. And two can play that game, right? Not that you want a very adversarial kind of encounter, but it's this game of negotiation that they're showing you that they are your adversary when it comes to questions like this. In some ways, the recruiter is your ally. You want to get hired, they have the power to hire you, and they're looking at you to see if you're the best person. And if they feel you're the best person, they want you to be hired. So in some ways, they're your ally. But in some other ways, they're your adversary, like the salary question. You have opposite goals. So it's a very complex relationship, right? So you always want to keep it positive and friendly. You want them to want to deal with you and enjoy dealing with you. That's why people play these stupid little word games. But it's all to further this goal of, I don't want to show you my hand. I don't want to show you what my position is. I want you to think a certain thing about what my position is, but I don't want to reveal the reality of it to you, because then you'd be able to outmaneuver me, right? So you could try, and that's one element that I recommend when they ask you, what is your salary expectation, right? They want you to show your hand, but they're not going to tell you the range. So the first thing you do is you say, I don't know at this point, right? And then and if they give you trouble with that, you then move on to saying, well, look, this role has been approved, right? The hiring manager got this approved. Therefore, the compensation must have been approved also. So, can I ask what the range of compensation is for this position? Right? That must have been disclosed and approved. So what is it? It exists. You should know it. What is it? Right? And that's when they say, we don't know. Right? Or, I can't remember, something like that, right? They don't want to give that. And then if that doesn't work, then you counter that by, if they insist upon you giving a number, you don't give a number, you give a very wide range. I don't care what anybody says, that's how you do it. If you got to give them something, you give them a very wide range, very low to very high. Both limits, the high number and the low number, are technically possible, but they're a stretch. You don't say low numbers that are ridiculous or high numbers that are ridiculous. You say, a high number that's possible, but, unlikely, and a low number that's possible, but unlikely, right? And you say somewhere in there, and somewhere in there, I'm sure is fine. So it's very non-committal, but you've given them an answer. And if they push you more, you say, well, sorry, at this point, that's all I can say. I would need to know quite a bit more about the role before I can really pin it down for you. I haven't seen, I wouldn't go into details, but you haven't seen your boss, you haven't seen the workload, you haven't understood the culture, what are their expectations, how hard you have to work, is there mandatory overtime, are there all kinds of other demands on you? You don't know any of that, so you need to be compensated for it.